When did your family realize you weren't the pushover they always thought you were? I did it. I took the big step. I left my job, the stable salary, the good benefits. I left it all behind just for this one thing, my own restaurant. I'd been saving for years, and I finally had enough to do what I'd always wanted. My family thought I'd lost my mind. Dad called it a waste of my degree, and Mom kept saying I threw away my career for a fantasy doomed to fail. My brother even joked about how he'd try to act surprised when I have to close it down and start my career all over again. I wish I could say I wasn't hurt by the things they said, but I was. It didn't stop me from inviting them to the grand opening anyway. My relatives told me not to expect them to show up knowing my parents. A part of me kept hoping they would. But that Friday night before the grand opening, when I texted one final reminder, they completely shut me down. "We're not going to support something so blatantly stupid," Dad texted. "Just keep this to yourself. We're already embarrassed enough," Mom added. Words they'd soon regret ever sending. The grand opening was quiet. 12 people showed up. 3 of them were friends. The rest were old coworkers. None were my family. I kept glancing at the door anyway, hoping I'd be proven wrong. Still, I was happy. This was it. This was the dream. I put effort into everything that day. I cooked, plated, kept them all entertained, then washed the dishes all on my own. And by the end of the night, I was exhausted and kinda questioning if I really made the right decision. Just as I was thinking of closing the place early, the bell on the door rang and a woman stepped inside, my first real customer. I took a breath and put my best smile on. She ordered 4 different dishes, took dozens of photos of each one, asked me detailed questions about the menu, and tasted each dish carefully. I figured she was a big foodie like me based on how passionately we talked. I was only half right. The rest of the week was quiet and empty. I started losing sleep, running the numbers over and over again in my head. Then a food blog post went up, raving about how my restaurant had the most honest meal you can find in the city. I read it 3 times just to make sure it was real, and soon reservations started flooding in, and I had to hire 5 new employees just to keep up with it all. By the end of the month, I was fully booked, even on weekdays. Local travel guides added it to their list of hidden gems. The best part was how my phone constantly blew up with messages from relatives and friends and people I hadn't spoken to in years, telling me how proud they were. Even my parents started bragging on social media about how they believed in me from the start. I felt my jaw clench reading it. They messaged me asking when they could swing by to try my dishes, but I ignored every single one. Then one Saturday night, the busiest night of the week, the door opened and my family walked in demanding a seat. I was in the kitchen plating orders when one of my servers rushed in looking pale. "There's a family at the front causing a scene. They're saying they know the owner." I walked out expecting to deal with a Karen, only to find something much worse. My whole body went cold. My parents and brother stood at the host stand, yelling about how they didn't need a reservation. "Our child owns this place," Mom shouted, making sure the entire restaurant knew who they were. I walked over and immediately asked them to leave. "I'm sorry, but you have to make reservations like everyone else here. No exceptions." Dad laughed in my face. "All right, nice joke. Go and clear a table for us, somewhere far from the air conditioning. I don't want the food getting cold when you serve it." "No," I said. The word came out steadier than I expected. The restaurant fell quiet all at once. I could feel every pair of eyes on me. "What?" I said. "No." "No? Did you just say no to your own family? After all the support we've given you, raising you for success? This is how you repay us?" Mom shouted. I asked them again to leave, but then brother started walking up to other customers, telling them to finish up and leave so they could take their seats, while Mom started having a full-blown tantrum, stealing plates off of people's tables, chugging down their wine, refusing to leave. Something in me went quiet. I pulled out my phone and called the police. Even after getting kicked out, they tried coming back 2 more times, demanding a reservation, pulling the same ridiculous stunt. Finally, when Mom begged for a spot the 3rd time, I said, "Fine, I can fit you in next month on the 14th, and does that work?" She was thrilled, praising me for being such a good child, but I wasn't a good kid. "You see, we're closed on the 14th.